We grow when we give.
We grow when we give.
We grow when we give.
Nosotros crecemos cuando damos.
We grow when we give.
与えるとき成長する。
We grow when we give.
Welcome to R.O.G, Return on Generosity, a podcast celebrating generosity at work. Not financial giving, giving valuable time, alternative perspectives, and genuine collaboration.
Welcome to Building Bridges, the R.O.G coaching tips for generous leadership. I'm your host, Shannon Cassidy. This week, we're going to focus on generous V.I.B.E. In 2015, I released a book called V.I.B.E, and it's an acronym, your values, interests, beliefs, and energy sources. So today, we're going to look at that in terms of generous leadership. So the V in V.I.B.E are your values. And we talk a lot about values on R.O.G because as a generous leader, you want to be clear about what you stand for and your core values. You want your team to understand its core values and how that links up to your organizational core values. So values are important. They help us make decisions. They help us be congruent. And they also help us to understand why we're getting triggered by certain things. So the next time you are reacting in a passionate way towards something that you believe is unjust or not right, or somebody's behavior is something you don't agree with, unpack that a little and see what is the core value that's going on that I perceive as in conflict in this situation. As a generous leader, those are some of the things that we want to be curious about and help other people unpack as well. Each chapter has a ton of quotes, and this one speaks to me, which says, our problem is not to find better values, but to be faithful to the ones we profess. John Gardner. So be faithful to the core values that you profess. The I in V.I.B.E are your interests, and interests are things that you may never get paid to do. You just find them interesting and fulfilling, and they make you interesting. So what are some of the interests that you can engage in and outside of work that would demonstrate generous leadership? So inside your organizational walls, so to speak, you could engage in coaching, mentoring. You could really believe in someone and give them hope and support. You could actively listen to truly try to understand what people are saying. You can engage in your employee resource groups or your business resource groups, and you can get involved. Outside of work, you can get more involved in volunteer activities in your community. So think about what is a nonprofit that focuses on the area in the world that you find most problematic and invest in, not just financial giving, but personally get involved with. How can you be an active contributing member of the community of people who are like-minded and aiming to solve the problem that you find most significant in the world? That's a way that you could leverage your interests to demonstrate generosity and to get that beautiful return on generosity, which is that we don't give so we can get, but the fact is we get so much joy from giving. And in this chapter, we've got a Walt Disney quote where he says, "If you can dream it, you can do it." So think about the impact and the difference that you hope someone could make, and then make that someone you. The B in V.I.B.E are your values, your core, your beliefs, the beliefs that you have about yourself. So I am are the two most powerful words in the English language. What we say after that is really significant. I am. So if you say I am exhausted, then really the person that you need to give most generously to is you. You've got to focus on self-care. Take some time to rest and recover and take care of you. And then with that cup filled and ready to overflow, think about how else you want to make a contribution and use those B statements, those beliefs, to ground yourself in that congruence of this is who I am. I am generous. I am grateful. I am willing. I am aware. I am curious. I am humble. I am activated. I am a community member. I am talented and willing to use my talents for the benefit of others. I am skillful. I am experienced. And I am worthy and I am enough. I am enough would be one of those statements I hope all of us can add to our list, because if we really believed we were enough, a lot of this would work itself out. So there's a quote in this chapter from Dr. Maxwell Maltz that says, "Within you right now is the power to do things you never dreamed possible. This power becomes available to you just as soon as you can change your beliefs." So change your beliefs, change your life. So what are some of the I am statements that's going to be a catalyst for you and your generous leadership journey? Then the E in V.I.B.E are your energy sources. Like, how do you gain your energy? How do you plug in and recharge? And much like our mobile devices, we don't all have the same power cords. So if I gave you my power cord to charge up your phone, but you have a different kind of mobile device, it's not going to work for you. So for each of us as generous leaders, we have to take the time to consider, how do I charge my batteries? What is restorative for me? And how can I build a habit to enable me to invest in myself, charge my batteries so that I've got resource available to give to others? And that's on each of us. And one of the big focus areas of this chapter is building healthy habits. And that's because 95% of our behavior is automatic, non-conscious behavior. 5% is our willpower, self-conscious, self-regulated behavior, which means we don't frankly have a lot of willpower to go around. So we have to rely on healthy habits in order for us to maintain that energy management and have what we need in order to go be generous leaders in the world. So what are your core values? Clarify what those are. What are the interests that you have inside and outside of work that can enable you to make a lasting contribution? What are some of those I am statements and those beliefs that you want to clarify so that you can go and own that brand and to have the congruence of knowing that you are a generous leader? So I am generous is one you can please add to your list. And then energy. How do you get your energy, and what are some healthy habits that you can build to make sure that you are taking care of you and that you've got resource to go around? Please join us next week with Dave Delaney and Leading with Nice. Until then, stay generous, everyone.
Thanks for listening to R.O.G, Return on Generosity podcast. Please help us grow by subscribing and reviewing us on your favorite podcast player. And for more information, visit bridgebetween.com. We grow when we give.
우리는 나누면서 성숙합니다.
We grow when we give.
On rayonne quand on donne.
We grow when we give.